Hi Libra, welcome to Higher Source Tarot for your weekly tarot check for the week of June 21st through June 28th, 2020. I hope you're all staying well, and I so appreciate you and your support of the channel, watching readings, liking, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate that. And if you're new here and you'd like to subscribe, I'd love to have you. If you want to tap the bell, you'll be notified when new videos are posted, but it's generally every week if you don't like the notifications. Sometimes it's a little more frequently because I do weeklies, plus I do longer readings for the month and mid-month. I'm not offering personal readings right now, and it's mainly just because of the technology behind it and quite frankly the time. I like to do things with fidelity. When I do something, I'm all in, and I just wouldn't want to start something like that and find out that I don't have the time to maintain it the way it should be. I have a lot of respect for tarot. It's sacred to me, and so who knows? If I ever start that, I'll let you know. There are some great readers out there who do offer personal readings, and I understand why people ask. I appreciate that, and I'll keep you posted if that ever changes. Let's get some guidance here. Guidance for Libra. Guidance here for Libra. All right, here we go. It's for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We go day by day in the weeklies. So you begin with Sunday, that's Father's Day, with the Six of Swords. Monday, you have the Hermit. Tuesday, you've got the Six of Pentacles. Wednesday, you have the Empress. You have the Queen of Swords on Thursday. Friday, you've got the Five of Cups. Saturday, you've got the Page of Wands. And then end here with the Nine of Cups. So I do feel like you've got a little bit of a hiccup here. You know, tarot is great because it gives you the full story. I don't mind oracle cards. I mean, I actually like them, but they tend to only give positive, uplifting messages, and that's intentional. That's the design. Tarot is, you know, it's much more structured. There's always 78 cards. There's always major and minor arcana. There's always court cards, right? And but with this, they show you challenges, and you definitely have something that comes in here that brings somewhat of a challenge, but there's a recovery in it too. So I want to. There's always, when there's a problem with tarot, there's always a solution with it too, and guidance given. So you have here, before we begin, you do have Earth here. You've got all the elements represented, and you also have Virgo indicated here. So, you know, you're on this journey. You're on what I think is more of an emotional journey. It certainly could be, if you have a Father's Day thing planned, maybe a short trip. I mean, that's possible for somebody. But I also think it's sort of like, I feel like it's like a rising above, and just not letting stuff bother you. You know, if you've got somebody that is around you who's not always the easiest person to be around, maybe they're just insecure and they bring out a lot of things. It feels like somebody who almost likes to embarrass other people. Like they bring up old stories and things that are kind of embarrassing, and it's kind of like, what's the purpose of bringing that up? And I had a cousin who was like that, and one day I said that to her. I said, well, I don't really know why you're talking about that story unless it's to try to embarrass me. And that stopped her. It stopped her right in her tracks, because I was honest. I think you can do that with people, and it's like, look, I don't, every time I see you, want to have to be on guard for what you're going to bring up to try to make me feel uncomfortable. You know, I'm just not here for that. So in any event, I do feel like you're setting a boundary in this, emotionally setting some boundaries, and you've got this guide, right, who steers you along. Monday, you've got the Hermit, and with the Hermit, this is about detaching from society but not humanity. So you may find on Monday, especially if you're back at work, where you're just very focused on doing the next right thing. You're not going to engage in a lot of, you know, if there's gossip and, you know, chit chat about what's happening, you know, that kind of stuff. You're just kind of going to be working, focused, doing your own thing, not worrying about all that kind of petty stuff. It's just not, again, there's this feeling of wanting balance this week and wanting boundaries, and not letting those boundaries be penetrated. Because that's the thing, when we set a boundary, we can't let it move all over the place or people just walk all over it. It doesn't help us. And I say that as a clinician. Don't use this site as clinical guidance, but I will give you what I know. I tell you to get to a therapist if needed, or certainly just to do it. It's great, a great personal development tool. So Tuesday here, you've got the Six of Pentacles, and I really like this for you because it's also got Libra scales in it, so there's balance here. I feel like you're in your element. It's like you needed to take a mini break and just do the next right thing and kind of detach a little bit from people and just the noise. There's noisiness around you, and it's sort of unnecessary, right? It's like people talking just to hear themselves is what I feel like. But I do feel like on Tuesday you feel much more balanced. You are feels this week like money is no problem for you. In fact, it may even be coming in more than you thought it would. Just little things here or there where you get an email and there's a credit to your account from your insurance or some refund, and it might not be tons, but it's enough. So some of you too may be in charge of some kind of fundraiser, I'm getting, where you might be doing something like it's, for your community, but you're heading something up where there's going to be some great donations. It might not be this week, but it could be like a pop can drive or something like that where you're bringing in money, and you're leading something with that. So on Wednesday here, you've got the Empress, and this is all about new growth. Venus surrounds her, okay? So there's love, there's new growth here, and there is a world of possibilities. So if you're starting a new relationship or you've been in one, you may find that it takes a nice turn and starts to bring in momentum. There begins to be some momentum moving forward. That just feels really good. She looks out for the best interest of everyone else. This is also too about material possessions. So she's the creator in the material world. So if you have been setting your intentions, the universe hears you. The universe is responding to that, and the universe loves speed, right? So, the more that you can raise your own vibration and frequency by meditation and calming yourself and being open, the quicker things will appear. So you do have the Queen of Swords here on Thursday, and some of this you may be cutting out something. God, I just got somebody's cutting out sugar, which is really on this card seems like the card's quite a bit deeper than that, but I want to tell you that because somebody's going to do some kind of now I really got it. It's like a 10-day reset or cleanse thing where they're doing like no sugar, no smoking, no drinking, no caffeine. It's like we're basically eating air for 10 days, but somebody is going to be doing that here. I don't know who, but the thing is about the Queen of Swords is she's very no nonsense, great communicator, but she knows pain. Okay, this is somebody that's had some pain, and I feel like somebody might share some things with you this week about their own past, and it may be somebody you're in a relationship with where they open up to you about some things that really shed light on who they are and why they do what they do. It makes sense. Like, I see what their motivation is. It's nothing negative. It's more out of just almost preemptive protection, like they just don't want to be hurt again. So for some of you, if you're trying to date someone like this, that may be something to be aware of, that they do some things. Many years ago, my dad died, and it was a suicide, and it was 20 years ago, but it was tough. It was, obviously, and it was on Christmas Eve. And so around Christmas, I would get tense, and of course I understood why, but it really had to do as I went to school and got a master's degree and all that stuff and got a license, clinical license. I would refer to it as an amygdala hijacking. My amygdala would take over and I would just tense up, and I had to work through that. And I feel like this person shares in some of that and so my family would be like, oh God, you're getting hijacked again, you're getting tense, and because that's not really my energy. But I learned how to let that go. Now it doesn't, I'm not connected to it anymore. I see it for what it was, and it was sad at the time, but it's part of a cycle, and it doesn't hurt me like it used to. So this person may end up need some of that, some understanding. So Friday, you've got this Five of Cups, but I feel like with this, it's a change card. And even though, you know, he's sad, he's kind of unaware of these two cups that are still standing. I feel like it's connected to that Queen of Swords. Like it's just sort of like kind of an emotional hangover from a deep conversation where there's just something in there that connects you, but it's like, oh man. For somebody, I feel like too, I hate to say this. I'm always careful because you have to be careful in your reading, because if you get an image or something and you put it out there, I don't want people to have self-fulfilling prophecies. But I feel like somebody reads something, like a journal, or sees something of somebody's, and it's nothing like they're learning some truth and it's shocking because they were double crossed. It's not like that. It's like they read something about somebody's innermost feelings and it touches them on a deep level, and it's a little bit sad. That's how I feel for that. But the energy definitely shifts for the weekend. And again, I feel like that's more compassion than something that's done to you. I feel like you have a deep compassion for somebody here. And so part of that is just sort of continuing on, I guess, when we look at how can I be of service, we uplift, right? When we join people in their sadness, we just join a lower vibration. So the Page of Wands showing up is timely, and he's an uplifter. You know, he's that person that, like, when your friend is down in the dumps, he grabs you and says, come on, we're going out. That's the spirit I get. Whoever this is, like, you grab a hold of them and say, come on, we're going to go to the beach, or we're going to go, you know, antiquing or something. But he's an inspiring, you know, action kind of a guy. He takes action. He's very creative too. So I do feel like you have a creative energy. I got a vision of somebody dyeing their hair in here, or helping somebody else dyeing their hair. And but it's just fun. I mean, he's just a fun, very fun energy. And I feel like for you on Saturday, you're going to have a great energy, and it goes right into Sunday, which is nice. So I mention this a lot, that time is fluid, and so when I read this, I do read it by the days, but certainly it could be spaced out longer, you know, where you see a pattern. But you do have this Nine of Cups that comes in, and, you know, with the Page of Wands too, he can also be about travel too, but very charismatic card, and it continues into this Nine of Cups because this is a wish fulfillment card. So I haven't talked that much about love because I got into that other kind of storyline about wanting to support somebody who is having a hard time with something. But I definitely feel for some of you, you've got a loving companion here with the Empress and this Nine of Cups. You know, it's a really appreciative energy where you're looking around at all the beauty around you, and it's really about having something really touch your heart and your soul on Sunday. I feel like there's something that you're proud of, but it brings you great satisfaction. Like, it's like you look at things and you go, God, the universe really does exist. Here's confirmation of it. We'll close with an oracle card to bring more love in your life. Love is all around you. There is love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth. And then we'll wrap up the reading with Abraham Hicks, Ask and It Is Given. Success is about the joy I feel. When you are genuinely thrilled by someone else's success, that means you're right on the track of your own. Success is not about getting it done. The measure of success in life is not the attainment of the money or the stuff. The measure of success is absolutely the amount of joy you feel. So be joyful on your journey, right? The joy is in the journey, and it's a beautiful week ahead for you. Beautiful energies coming towards you. I love you so much, Libra, and I'll be back again soon.